Hi, this is Chad from MiPlaniT again, and today we're going to talk about views, the different views within a calendar. We're going to talk about creating calendars and creating events, and sharing calendars and sharing events. So let's jump right into it. So right now I'm sitting on the day view of a calendar, my daily calendar. And one thing that's not always apparent but is helpful is if you look at that 6:46 p.m. time frame, you're going to see that red line across the screen. That's the current time. And so, but next to it is this little handle, and you can grab this handle and you can kind of move that bar up over events. And when you do that, in the lower left-hand corner of the screen, you're going to see the icon that, or the profile picture, excuse me, of that corresponding calendar. Now, you can see here when I'm hovering over like two events at the same time, they're both for the same calendar. So I was actually double booked at that time. But if one of those events was for a different calendar, I would actually see two different icons on the bottom, or two different profile pictures. So this is a really helpful feature when you have 5 or 6 calendars that you're importing and you're kind of curious what event is for which calendar. And it also makes it important from the previous video that you choose meaningful profile pictures for your calendar. That makes sense. You can quickly determine which is for which. Now, let's talk about the different views. On the top of the screen, you got day, week, and month view. So I'm currently sitting on the day view. One thing you can do is you can drag the calendar back and forth to quickly get to a different day if you want. The little dots below the number of the day are showing you whether or not you have an event on that day or not. So if you look here on the 7th or the 6th, which is Saturday and Sunday, thank God I don't have any events on that day. So it's pretty apparent I don't have anything there. Now, I can switch to the week view, and the week view is showing me 7 days worth of data. And so it's, packed in there and stuff, but it is helpful to look when you have open slots within your week. If you're trying to schedule something with somebody else, you can quickly look, have an aggregation of all your calendars in your life, and say, oh, well, it looks like I have time at whatever, 10 a.m. on Tuesday, the 9th. So it's a very important view for planning your week. Now, if you go to the month view is less detail, but it does kind of give you that step back view to know which days you're free. Again, an example is maybe somebody wants to, and like in my opinion, want to go play golf or something, and they're looking for, well, which day are you open? It's a quick way to just look and just say, oh, it looks like I got whatever, the 6th of February completely off. Maybe we can do it then. So 3 great views. Now, for creating a calendar, when you're sitting on the calendar tool, in the bottom right, you have that plus button. If you click it, that is where you create a new event or a new calendar. So if I wanted, I could click on calendar, and I would be immediately creating another MiPlaniT calendar, right? So I could give it a test name. I can invite users if I want to, hit the invite users, and it's going to bring up all my contacts from my MiPlaniT world. I can share it with one of them if I want to. I can, just like we showed in the profile video, you can change the image, you can change the background color for your calendar, and then it's got all the same functionality. So a very, very easy way to share a calendar and create a calendar with other people. Now, for an event, same thing. You press the button in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, you hit the event button, and immediately it brings up the details of the event that you wish to create. There's a lot of detail in here, so we'll just kind of go through some of this. Number one, it works very much like any other calendar that you would use, where you're going to give your event a name. So if I put event in there or whatever, if I can spell, you would, let me see here, boom. All right, you got event in there. The calendar name is extremely important because I have, let's say, 4 to 5 different calendars. When I create this event, the selection of the calendar name is the calendar in which I am creating it for. So for example, if I have a family Google calendar that I import, I might want to create the event in that calendar. So not only will I see it in MiPlaniT, but I would also see it in the Google calendar. So I can click this, choose any one of these calendars that I want, and then select back, and the calendar, it will be created for that specific calendar. Notifying people in other calendars is a way that you can simply send and create an event in somebody else's calendar who has shared it with you or one of your own, and you can block that time. A lot of times it works. This use case is very good for a family, again, because maybe your spouse has shared a calendar with you, maybe a work calendar, and you want to make sure that their time is blocked because you have some event with your children, right? Well, if you create an event in this calendar and you notify their calendar, an event will appear in their calendar that blocks their time, right? So it's a good way to organize and notify family members. Invitees works obviously a lot like any calendar. It's the people that you're going to invite, and you can invite people from within MiPlaniT or external to MiPlaniT. If they're external, they will receive an invite, like an ICS file if you're technical, that allows them to be able to import it into whatever kind of calendar that they use. You can choose an all-day event, which would just appear at the top of the day. If it was an all-day event, it won't block out your whole entire day. You can select different days. You can select the time. When you select the date and time, the nice thing is you can move around your appointment into a slot that works for you, where you don't have other things. So it's enabling you to see the aggregation of all of your other calendars to find a slot. So maybe I want to have that event, let's say like right here in this open window. I could hit accept on the top right, and it makes it for that time. Repeating is obviously if it's a recurring calendar event, meaning it's something that happens, whatever, daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, and you can apply that reoccurring type event. Remind me is a way to say how much before the meeting do I want to be reminded that I have it. You can make custom ones. You can select whatever one of the defaults, and you can even select the day and time in which you want this reminder to come. Traveling location. If you click on that, it's just if an event is in a specific location, you can click on it, and it immediately integrates with Apple's location tool so that you can basically pick a pin or find an address, and that way when you share it, others will have a link to that location as well. Once you're done with that, you can hit done. The traveling switch is just a quick way to indicate whether or not you will be traveling for this event. And description is obviously pretty self-explanatory. You can just go in there and put in a description. Now, on the top of the screen, don't forget that you can tag this event because, again, when you get to the custom dashboard video and you are trying to aggregate custom dashboards and bring things into it, those are very tag specific. So I could hit this tag and I can add whatever tags I want to this event. Like if it's a sporting event, I would put sports. If it's one of my kids, I would put my child's name or whatever. Tagging the events. Again, if you want to know more about the tagging, how tagging works in MiPlaniT, refer to the tagging video. So after you do that, you can basically hit save, and then you're going to have your event, and you're going to be ready to rock. So one last thing that I just wanted to point out is in the profile in the upper right, if you click on that, if you have a calendar, there's another way to share as well. If I take one of these things and I drag left and I hit the edit button on one of those calendars, on the top portion of the screen, you're going to see that sharing icon again, right? And if I click on that sharing icon, it's just another way for me to select a user, which I can grab one of these and just drag it down in there and hit done, and I would be able to share this calendar with that person and enable them to see those events. So hopefully you found that helpful. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.